Former Canadian Finance Minister Chrystia Freeland has condemned U.S. trade policies under President Donald Trump, calling them a lose-lose path that disregards economic fundamentals. She warned that tariffs and retaliatory measures could drive up costs for American consumers and lead to job losses, particularly affecting Trump's voter base.
Now, you're an economist of sorts. You have a very distinguished career as a writer on economics. When you look at where we are, a trade war between the United States and its closest ally, possibly the Peterson Institute says that this could produce inflation in the United States on a fairly significant scale. I think they have a chart that shows that it could go up 3-4%. Does that leave you thinking we're entering, a kind of a much less prosperous world? Because I mean, economics is meant to be about win-win, not win-lose. This almost feels like lose-lose because both economies, the U.S. and Canada, were worse off after all this.
Look, you're totally right. The path the U.S. is on right now is a lose-lose path. And at the end of the day, you cannot defy the laws of economics. You're exactly right to say the people who are going to suffer from this the most are Americans, including the Americans who voted for Trump. I mean, the president has decided now to make gas in the United States more expensive. He's decided to make groceries in the United States more expensive. And our retaliation is going to cost Americans jobs. That it's completely ridiculous. We do not want to do this. And the right thing for Americans to do right now is to kind of shake their heads and say, guys, the Canadians actually are great partners. They're great neighbors. Let's not do this, because I want to tell you, Canada is formidable. We are resolute. We are determined. We know what we're fighting for. We don't want to have this fight, but we are not going to lose it.
Freeland, speaking in a CNN interview, argued that the Trump administration's approach to trade, particularly with Canada, was self-defeating. The people who are going to suffer from this the most are Americans, including the Americans who voted for Trump, she said, adding that tariffs on Canadian goods would make essential products like gas and groceries more expensive in the U.S. And at the end of the day, you cannot defy the laws of economics, she stated. Her comments have sparked debate over whether they reflect sound economic reasoning or political posturing. Some critics suggest Freeland is using economic concerns to pressure the U.S. in trade negotiations, while others argue she is simply highlighting the risks of protectionist policies. Analysts also question the accuracy of her predictions, particularly regarding inflation and job losses, with some pointing to Canada's own economic vulnerabilities in the dispute. Despite her strong rhetoric, Freeland insisted that Canada does not seek conflict but is prepared to respond if necessary. Canada is formidable. We are resolute. We are determined, she declared. The ongoing trade tensions between the U.S. and Canada continue to raise concerns about potential long-term economic repercussions for both countries, as policymakers weigh the costs of escalating disputes against the benefits of free trade.